bottom line is we made a lot of progress over the last 20 months to build the economy from the bottom up and the middle out instead of the trickle-down economics that failed us the last 40 years. And we just have to keep going, in my view. What I'm most excited about is people are starting to feel a sense of optimism as they see the impact of the achievements in their own lives. So the economy is up, price inflation is down, real incomes are up, gas prices are down and need to come down further. Our economy is strong as hell.
Repeat a lie enough times, right? Our friend Josh Hammer is here. He's the opinion editor at Newsweek and host of the Josh Hammer Show, which you can download everywhere you listen to podcasts. Josh, how are you, brother?
I'm doing great, Mike. Always a pleasure to be with you.
Great for you here. So we're talking about Biden's last 2 years, or the most previous 2 years. And you heard him right there just saying over and over, the economy is great. And I think the Democrats and the media, I think they successfully did trick people into thinking the economy ain't that bad. I think about the alternative. If the media was just constantly like recession, 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 I think that would change people's perception of what happened. What do you make of that? And can they keep this going? Can they still convince people that the economy is going great?
So look, I mean, we've had a number of firsts, either firsts ever or first in multiple decades happen when it comes to the economy, when it comes to inflation under the Joe Biden presidency. So let's kind of just review some of the basic highlights or lowlights, as the case may be, over the past couple of years. So last summer, we reached officially 4-decade high inflation. I think the CPI at one point was even over 9% year over year on an annualized basis. These are numbers that have not been seen since the stagflation of the Jimmy Carter era in the late 1970s. Subsequently, after that, of course, President Reagan worked hand in hand with then Fed Chairman Paul Volcker to dramatically escalate interest rates to quell inflation. We have not seen that kind of inflation in literally over 40 years. At one point last year, the average price of gasoline at the pump nationally, the average national price of gasoline was over $4 per gallon for the first time ever in modern American history since we've been keeping tabs on that particular metric. Let's not forget also, Mike, the U.S. economy formally entered a recession last year. I mean, I'm an economics major in college. Everyone who has literally taken Econ 101 knows the universally accepted definition of recession is back-to-back quarters of negative GDP growth, where the economy contracts. That happened last year. And, you and I both recall quite well Karine Jean-Pierre and all the other idiots up there trying to tell the American people that what they're seeing, these numbers coming in, you might think it's a recession, but no, it's not actually a recession. So, I was looking at the chyron that you were just using there, and the term gaslight is very appropriate. That's what's happening here. It is gaslighting. I wrote a column about this in the middle of last summer, I think it was last July or so, about kind of the Democrats' Orwellian nature. This is just straight up Orwell. It's what you said. You keep on telling a lie over and over again. Eventually, the hope is that it will seep in, but it is pure, unadulterated gaslighting. The economy under Joe Biden has been about as bad as it has been under an American president in a very, very long time.
And the media, of course, has to be complicit with it, right? He can say it's not a recession, but when the media comes along and says the same, and then when the dictionary, literally when Webster's dictionary comes in and changes the definition of words mid-news cycle, that's how they're so successful with their gaslighting. But can they continue can they keep this going? Can they continue to lie and trick people for another 2 years?
Look, I'm not sure. I mean, if you look at the inflation data, we should be intellectually honest enough to concede that the inflation numbers are starting to come back to reality a little bit. They're still bad, to be clear. The annualized inflation numbers have trickled down from 8.5%, 9%. I think now they're more in the 6.5% to 7% range. That's still very bad, by the way. The Federal Reserve officially wants year over year an average of 2% annual inflation. So even if it's 6.5%, 7%, that's way, way, way above what it should be. But will they be able to get away with it? I mean, we'll see what happens with the economy. I mean, right now, a lot of big corporations, the tech companies in particular, the headline was that Microsoft was letting go of 10,000 employees, Amazon, Facebook, a lot of these massive S&P 500, Fortune 500 corporations are starting to just let go of mass number of employees. So we'll see if an actual kind of deeper recession kind of happens in earnest later this year. I hate to be kind of a Jeremiah prophet of lamentation, but I probably do predict that actually will be the case. And if that actually does happen, it's very hard for me to see them getting away with this gaslighting for too much longer.
Hey, thanks for watching that clip. That was from our special about the first 2 years of the Joe Biden presidency and just reflecting on all the failures. If you feel hopeless about the moment and about what's next, if I can forward you to our podcast. It's called Politics by Faith. And this is the premise of the podcast, is we take these moments of anxiety and hopelessness and we find what is good and true. And you leave that feeling very good, I assure you. So if you can download that podcast and give it a chance and check it out, it's called Politics by Faith. Anywhere you download, listen to podcasts.